The governor of Missouri made the surprise announcement late today that he is resigning in the wake of a sex scandal and alleged campaign finance violations. Republican Eric Greitens said that he will step down on Friday after weeks of refusing to do so. He had acknowledged an extramarital affair while denying allegations of sexual assault. He also faced a felony charge of misusing a campaign donor list and potential impeachment, but claimed that he did not break the law. Today, he said it has become too much.
It's clear that for the forces that oppose us, there is no end in sight. I cannot allow those forces to continue to cause pain and difficulty to the people that I love.
Hours earlier, a judge had ordered a group supporting Greitens to release key documents that could show illegal coordination with his campaign committee. ABC television abruptly canceled its top-rated revival of the show Roseanne today over a racist tweet by its star, Roseanne Barr. She went after the former advisor to President Obama, Valerie Jarrett, over her politics and her looks. Barr apologized, but ABC said the remarks were, quote, abhorrent and repugnant. We'll take a closer look later in the program. It has been a rough day on Wall Street. Stocks tanked over fears that political turmoil in Italy will put new strain on the euro currency. Instead, investors bought up U.S. government bonds, driving interest rates down and hurting bank stocks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average turned negative for the year, losing 391 points to close at 24,361. The Nasdaq fell 37 points, and the S&P 500 slipped 31. The Trump administration says it is moving forward with placing new tariffs on Chinese products. The White House announced today that 25% levies will take effect next month on $50 billion worth of Chinese goods. Beijing answered that it will protect its core interests. New signs today that President Trump and North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, are actively trying to revive summit plans. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo now plans to meet with Kim Jong-chul, a North Korean official, in New York this week. Meanwhile, the State Department said that U.S. teams are holding more planning meetings with North Koreans.
I think that each of the groups that are meeting, such as our colleagues who are in Singapore right now, our colleagues who are at the demilitarized zone, are all having meetings about different pieces in which they have an expertise. I'm not going to get into all of the details of that, but I think it's pretty impressive thinking about where we were 1 year ago, where we were even 6 months ago, for that matter, and now we have 3 simultaneous meetings taking place on this matter to talk about the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
Amid the diplomacy, the State Department also published a new estimate that North Korea is holding between 80 and 120,000 political prisoners. Japan says it spotted an apparent fuel transfer to a North Korean ship this month, violating UN sanctions. It is believed that a Chinese-flagged vessel was also involved. China maintains that it is fully enforcing efforts to cripple North Korea's nuclear program. The U.S. Deep South got a drenching today from remnants of the Gulf storm Alberto. The system dumped as much as 6 inches of rain as it tracked across north across Alabama into Tennessee. Flood warnings were up in 5 states, and total damage was estimated at $50 million. Arkansas is now free to enforce a state law that targets abortion pills. The U.S. Supreme Court today rejected a legal challenge by Planned Parenthood. The law will limit doctors' ability to prescribe medications that induce abortions. In Paris, leaders of Libya's rival factions mapped out a path to reconciliation today. They agreed on a framework for holding national elections on December the 10th. The UN sponsored the round of peace talks, and French President Emmanuel Macron was on hand to cheer the outcome.
L'engagement sur la base de ce processus.
The commitment is to fully and safely give back to the Libyan people their sovereignty and allow them to express it on this date. The Libyan people aspire to security, stability, to live better, and to be able to express its sovereignty. That's what we owe them.
Libya has been torn by conflict since Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown by a NATO-backed revolt in 2011. Palestinian militants in Gaza fired salvos of mortars and rockets into southern Israel today, and the Israelis answered with airstrikes. Several rockets were intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome defense system. Warplanes struck more than 30 targets across Gaza in response. There were no reports of deaths on either side. And the UN Human Rights Office called today for Saudi Arabia to safeguard the status of women's rights activists. 6 women and 3 men have been arrested this month, but their whereabouts are unknown. Saudi Arabia is due to lift a ban on women driving in June. Still to come on the NewsHour, can Starbucks become a model for anti-bias training? Why ABC TV abruptly canceled the show Roseanne? An organization that teaches the skills needed to keep a job, and much more.